The Golden State Warriors are officially keeping their championship hopes alive and refusing to fade into the background. In a stunning play-in performance, Steph Curry reminded the world why he is still the greatest show in sports by dropping 35 points and hitting the dagger to ice the game against the Los Angeles Clippers. Draymond Green was the defensive anchor we all remember, suffocating Kawhi Leonard and proving that the heart of this dynasty is still beating stronger than ever.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
It was a night for the ages, as the bond between Steph Curry and Draymond Green took center stage at the Intuit Dome. Head coach Steve Kerr watched his veteran leaders put on a clinic of competitive will, rallying back from a double-digit deficit to secure a victory that felt like a trip back to the golden era. With Al Horford providing a massive spark from deep, the team proved that they are not just looking to survive, but are hungry to make a real statement this postseason. The respect between Titans was on full display as Kawhi Leonard walked off the court and paid the ultimate tribute to Draymond Green, calling him a Hall of Fame defender who made life miserable all night long. This rare moment of public praise from Leonard has sparked intense speculation about a potential future partnership, leaving fans and analysts wondering if we are seeing the early chapters of a major off-season shift. Green was visibly moved by the nod from one of the game's greatest, confirming that when these stars talk, the entire league listens. Now the Warriors turn their sights to a do-or-die showdown in Phoenix this Friday, where a win would punch their ticket to a high-stakes series against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the entire squad are ready to prove that the reports of their demise were premature. If you want to stay in the loop for every clutch moment of this playoff push, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for instant updates. Ever wonder what it looks like when a dynasty refuses to say goodbye? Last night in Inglewood, we didn't just get a basketball game, we got a masterclass in heart. With the Warriors' season hanging by a thread against the Clippers, Steph Curry and Draymond Green didn't just play, they reminded the world exactly who they are. As Brandon Podziemski stepped to the line to seal the 126-121 win, the image of Curry and Green locked in a midcourt embrace told the whole story. This wasn't just a 9/10 play-in game, it was a testament to a decade-long brotherhood that refuses to quit. Let's be real for a second. The Warriors' season has been a roller coaster, plagued by injuries and 20 turnovers that, on any other night, would have sent them packing. Down by 13 in the fourth, they were staring at an early summer vacation. But then, the switch flipped. Steph dropped 35, including a back-breaking step-back three that had him landing in the front row, while Draymond put on a defensive clinic, locking down Kawhi Leonard like it was 2017. Even newcomers like Al Horford caught the fever, hitting back-to-back clutch triples that felt like pure poetry. Steve Kerr didn't mince words afterward, calling this win as meaningful as any from their championship years. Critics wanted them to tank, to pack it in for the lottery, but Steph refused. He came back from injury for this exact moment. The pressure, the lights, the sheer audacity of winning when everyone says you're finished. Next up, it's a do-or-die clash with the Suns in Phoenix. The road doesn't get any easier, but the Warriors have proven one thing. The dynasty might be fading, but it is certainly not dead yet. If you're a fan of high-stakes hoops, you cannot miss Friday's showdown. Hit that subscribe button to keep up with every twist and turn of this wild postseason run, and tell me in the comments, do you think this veteran squad has one more miracle championship run in their tank? Because after last night, I wouldn't bet against them. Ever wonder what 12 years of blood, sweat, and championship rings looks like in a single moment? Forget the trophies for a second. Look at the hug. When Draymond Green and Steve Kerr locked arms after that buzzer in Inglewood, it wasn't just a win. It was a desperate, ferocious testament to a dynasty that refuses to go quietly into the night. Most people had counted the Warriors out. After a grueling season defined by injuries and a lackluster record, the narrative was supposed to be about the decline of a super team. But apparently nobody told Steph Curry. While critics suggested he shut it down to rest, Curry was busy dropping 35 points, 27 of them in the second half, to keep the heartbeat of this team alive. It wasn't just about the play-in, it was about the refusal to quit. As Steve Kerr put it, this performance was a beautiful display of competitive will. And let's be real, it wasn't a solo act. You had Al Horford finding his range with clutch fourth-quarter threes, Kristaps Porzingis playing his most emphatic game in a Warriors jersey, and young gun Gui Santos stepping up when the lights were brightest. This wasn't just a win against the Clippers. It was a loud, defiant statement that the Warriors' DNA is still wired for combat. Now, the road only gets harder. A do-or-die date with the Suns in Phoenix, and if they survive that, a daunting matchup against the top-seeded Thunder. The odds, they're stacked against them. The path, it's brutal. But as Draymond wisely said, this team isn't built to be frontrunners. They thrive when the walls are closing in, and they've spent a decade proving that counting them out is the biggest mistake you can make. Whether this leads to another miraculous deep run or just one final glorious stand, one thing is certain. Watching Steph Curry chase greatness is a privilege we shouldn't take for granted. So, tell me in the comments, do you think this grit is enough to pull off the upset, or is the sun finally setting on this legendary era? Smash that like button if you're still riding with the Dubs, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next. Remember, it's not over until the greatest shooter on the planet says it is. Ever wonder what happens when two of the league's greatest defensive minds start flirting through the media? It's not your average post-game press conference, and the internet is absolutely buzzing. After a high-stakes play-in tournament clash, where the Golden State Warriors narrowly edged out the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard didn't just walk off the court. He dropped a comment that has every NBA insider reaching for their tinfoil hats. Despite an uneven performance, Leonard went out of his way to praise Draymond Green, calling him a Hall of Fame defender who made his life miserable on the court. Now, why does this matter? Well, in the world of the NBA, these kinds of compliments rarely happen in a vacuum, especially with swirling rumors that the Clippers might be looking at a total rebuild. People are reading between the lines, and it's starting to look a lot like Leonard might be planting seeds for a move to the Bay Area. Draymond Green, who is never one to shy away from the spotlight, soaked up every bit of that praise. He spoke about how special it was to earn the respect of a player as stoic and legendary as Kawhi. It was a moment of genuine mutual admiration, but it was also a masterclass in reading the room. If Kawhi was sending a signal, Draymond was clearly broadcasting the green light. Of course, the logistics here are as messy as they are exciting. We are talking about potential salary cap scandals, high-stakes trade scenarios involving injured stars like Jimmy Butler, and the kind of financial gymnastics that make GMs lose sleep. It's a wild hypothetical, but in this league, the craziest rumors often turn out to be the ones that shift the balance of power overnight. Would a pairing like this change the trajectory of the Warriors for years to come? It's a fascinating question that we might just see answered sooner than we think. What do you think? Is this just a case of two legends showing respect, or are we witnessing the beginning of the NBA's next big super team? Sound off in the comments below, hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss any of the drama. After all, in the NBA, the game isn't just played on the hardwood, it's played in the headlines. Stop me if you've heard this before. The Dynasty is dead, and the Warriors are finally out of gas. That's what the critics have been shouting all year, but on Wednesday night, Steph Curry and Draymond Green had a very loud reminder that legends don't just fade away. They force you to take the crown from their cold, dead hands. In a gritty play-in win against the Clippers, we didn't just see a basketball game. We saw a masterclass in defiance. Draymond Green, battling a chest infection that required a nebulizer before tip-off, put on a defensive clinic against Kawhi Leonard. He wasn't gambling for steals or chasing highlight blocks. He was playing the long game. It was pure, disciplined, Hall of Fame-level IQ. That final steal in the dying seconds, that wasn't luck. It was the result of 40 minutes of pressure that left one of the greatest scorers in history looking totally neutralized. You could see it in Kawhi's frustration. Even an all-timer like him struggles when he's suffocated by a defensive savant like Draymond. And then there's Steph. With 35 points, 27 of those coming in a second-half explosion, Curry reminded us that the court is still his stage. That dagger 3 over Brook Lopez, where he crashed into the front row like it was Game 7 of the finals, that's the spirit that built the dynasty. Steve Kerr said it best. The world might think they're past their prime, but this team doesn't know how to turn off that competitive switch. They aren't playing for accolades anymore. They're playing because they simply don't know how to do anything else. This win doesn't make them favorites to win it all, but it proves the pulse is still strong. They're battered, they're doubted, and they're tired, yet they refuse to quit until they are physically knocked off their pedestal. If this is the twilight of the Warriors' era, they're clearly planning to go out swinging rather than fading into the background. Do you think Curry and Green have one more deep playoff run left in their legs, or is this just a final flash of brilliance? Sound off in the comments below. Hit that like button if you still believe in the Dynasty, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive into the NBA playoffs.